Welcome to this exciting session. Thank you. Where we are going to discuss a very important topic. We're going to discuss how this body clock works and why are we told to get up on time, to sleep on time, to eat on time, and how do these things actually impact us. To have further much insight onto this, we have two very special speakers and very experienced speakers who've seen through time and tested the theory and are here to share their experience. To begin the session, it is my honor and privilege to invite upon Farooq Tarapur to start the session. He's an Olympian, a two-time world champion in sailing, and had an active sporting career of 40 plus years. He's won innumerable awards, including the Chhatrapati Shivaji Award and the Arjuna Award. He's a flag bearer on this journey, guys. We have to listen to him very, very carefully as he brings pearls every time that he shares his wisdom. Thank you so much, and over to you, Farooq.
Thank you, Ruchita, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Monday exciting session. I hope that Diwali sweets are on the decline. Everyone's had their food early, had their dinner early, done some little exercise. And, I can share something very honestly with you that even when you cannot do exercise, if your mindset is right and you are creating exercise in your, daily activity, that too can contribute a lot to your overall holistic health. Well, it cannot be that every day you are skipping exercise, but one odd day for some reason, if you cannot do it, you should not get worried if your non-exercise activity is good. And today, especially, you are going to listen from Veda, who used to believe that she does not have the time. And she started incorporating small little changes, and she started incorporating small exercises into her daily routine. I put up this simple exercise on the group chat about blood circulation. And I've been doing this now for many months. And I'm beginning to see the benefit of that exercise. It actually, even if you can't go for a walk someday, at least do that bit. And that stuff only works, if you do it like 10 times a day. Now, it takes hardly a minute and a half to do it, or a minute to do 30 times. So just investing 10 minutes of your day into a very simple exercise, which doesn't make you sweat, but which makes sure that your holistic health improves dramatically. Your calf and shin muscles are called your second heart. Just like we've been saying on this community that the gut health, is your second brain. Similarly, your calf and shin muscles are your second heart. And most of the lifestyle problems that develop while aging are due to lack of circulation. The heart gets a little weaker, the ejection fraction, comes down. And if you ensure that your calf and your shin muscles are strong, they help you to pump the blood. They act like a pump to get the blood against gravity back into your heart. So it's a very simple exercise. Do it religiously. Find a fun way of doing it. Find a routine to it. Like, for example, the way I do it is that I realized that there was no way I was going to remember doing it 10 times. So I put a little system into it. Every time I drink a sip of water, I do it. Every time I have a meal, that is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, immediately after that, I do that, definitely. Whether I go for a walk or I don't go for a walk. Okay. Every time I go to the washroom, I do it. So obviously 10 times get easily covered. Now I also realized that during my sporting days, getting up in the morning at 5:30, quarter to 6, was never a challenge. It didn't look like a sacrifice. It didn't look like we were doing much. We used to get up, and the gym was just about 100, 200 meters away from our cabins, and we used to hit the gym and really have a fun time over there, go change. But I do understand that if you're not involved, in a sporting activity at the highest level, then the motivation to just do the exercise doesn't come in easily unless you give it a bigger value and bigger meaning. You really have got to convince yourself, okay, oh, this is really important for my holistic health. I want to understand the difference between health span and lifespan. Okay, I'm just not interested in my lifespan, but I'm also interested in my health span. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that I am not going to be a liability, to my family. Because when people, health tends to, decline, it is not only that they suffer, it's everybody around the family that suffers. And hence, it is the responsibility of each and every one in the family to ensure that they are looking after their health. And today, you're going to hear from Veda, who incorporated many of these, little techniques through her journey. Like whether it was building abdominal muscles, whether it was this blood circulation. She started adopting these small little things, and she started realizing that, wow, it was making a huge difference. So listen to her very carefully, because her transformation journey was quite amazing, and she has a lot to share on, especially how to do exercises when you are not sort of giving it like a time to do it, but you're doing it in your day-to-day routine. So let's have fun doing it. Listen to this program as fun, and incorporate, make small changes. You don't have to do everything every day. Make small changes, and the small changes will have a tremendous impact on your overall holistic health. Over to you, Veda.
Thank you so much, Farooq. I think very, very valuable advice as always. And you know what? When Farooq actually shared this exercise, and I was actually not doing too, I had this allergic reaction, and all. Farooq actually asked me to do this exercise. My melancholy nature, I actually put, I don't know how many reminders on my phone. To every half an hour, actually, the reminder pops up to do this exercise. But he has given us such a nice and unique way कि जब भी पानी पियो उठो do those. It literally takes 30 seconds to 60 seconds maximum. I will reshare that exercise on the group, and all of these exercises, whatever simple ones that Farooq is sharing, are there on the on our website as well. We will share the link again on the WhatsApp community. Well, let's come to today's topic: impact of lifestyle on body clock. If you're attending the session for the first time, what is the body clock? Basically, just like you have your day night cycle, the time 24 hours, our body also adheres to body, its organs, etc., the hormonal cycles, all of that adheres to a particular body clock. Okay, time. Basically, all of this is based on day and night cycle. In most of the sessions, in fact, almost in all, we will align the impact of each of these topics to body clock. Today, what we are seeing is how does each of these lifestyle aspects, in terms of your physical activity, in terms of your sleep timings, food timings, how stress impacts the body clock, and what really happens. your screen time. We are all spending hours and hours now on the screen. Unfortunately, the mobile is not just a device to make calls, it is doing everything, right? As I said, I put reminders there. Late night snacking, how do all of this actually impact the body clock, and hence what happens because of that? That's what we're going to see today. Okay. Now, what is the body clock? There are two sets of clock. One is your main clock, which is your brain. Okay. Your brain runs on a main clock, and then each of the key organs also have their individual clocks, right? Of course, it is all connected to the brain clock, right? But each of them have their different timings. Now, these are primarily impacted by three things: the night and day cycle, night and day. Okay. Day for the brain can also be an environment where there is light. It cannot differentiate between sun and a tube light or a bulb, right? So wherever there is light. Second is diet, what you eat, and the third is your movement, your exercise, right? Here, what we are seeing is what is your physical activity? How does your physical activity impact your body clock? Your movement during the daytime, okay, it triggers your sleep and wake cycle. In the sense, if you move and it is in during the morning time, it'll stop your melatonin secretion and help you wake up. Plus, it opens up, or it triggers your main clock, which is your brain clock, which is, again, as I mentioned, your sleep hormone stops getting secreted, which is your melatonin. Your temperature, is again back to your blood pressure actually sees a spike. All of your main clock actually tells your individual clocks, chalo utho, time ho gaya to function in your optimum, in the maximum night, because every other organ also rests during the night. Okay. Now, these activities, first thing, what does it trigger? Your central nervous system, now sensory and central nervous system, which exercise strengthens the main clock's daily pattern. Hence, if you exercise in the morning, you will see that the whole day you're more energetic. Outdoor activities, when you're exposed to the light, it obviously gives you absorption of vitamin D, exposure to the natural bright daylight. Timely exercise improves balance of daily rhythm. As I mentioned, your whole, your flexibility improves, your cognitive functions improve. They help better balance of temperature of your body and also maintains your food regime. Now, if you don't have too much of activity, at times you will not even feel hungry at the right time, right? Altogether, these factors enable robust circadian rhythm. That is on activity. Now, how does sleep get impacted? See, I just talked about melatonin, right? Melatonin is your sleep hormone. Okay, just remember it as your sleep hormone. Means what? As soon as you are in a dark environment, okay, it gives a signal to your brain that it is time for the melatonin hormone to be secreted. It starts getting secreted, and slowly you get sleepy or you get drowsy. Now, if you do not sleep on time, when will you not sleep on time? Ideally, when there is light or daytime, melatonin will not get secreted. It will get secreted only when there is a darkness that stimulates it and that gets secreted. Okay. Now, if you have a delayed sleep wake phase, or today I'm sleeping, say, at by 10:30, the next day by 1 o'clock, and it's irregular, what all really impact your body clock because of your sleep wake cycles. Okay. When a jet lag, you will see that, right? When you have a jet lag and you're traveling from one country to the other, which has a different a time range, then you do see that. We have many cases in many of the industries, you have shift work. I know, I'm from the IT industry. We have to work, say, during the US hours to be able to coordinate better, or during the Australia, New Zealanders wake up very early in the morning. I know my friends who have to do that. that all of this, when you do it on a continuous basis, okay, continuous basis, it is going to make you feel tired. It is going to increase your mood swings. Mental capability will reduce. I'm sure you're going to be facing these symptoms. There is no one I know who would probably be having a night shift continuously and will be happy. You will see this in even, see, when you talk about sleep and body clock, it is also about day and night, right? You see these issues in people who are in the, nearer to the North Pole, because their day-night cycles are very, very different. Metabolic disorders, lower performance, you have gut issues and lower alertness, right? So how do you, and even because of this, because you're going to be sleeping a little late, most of us, I think the youngsters especially, sleep very, very late nowadays. For them, it is regular that they sleep only by 1 or 2 because of social media. What happens is your cravings also increase. So the best way to avoid snacking or munching or wanting to eat after your 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock dinner is to sleep on time. Okay. Now, if you maintain regular timings, that only when there is light you eat, and when it is dark you don't eat. If you maintain it as per your day-night cycle, you will align to the body clock, and hence you will see that those people are much more healthier and fitter. Okay. Of course, there could be other parameters as also associated, but if every other parameter is also fine, that they're eating the right food as well. But trust me, when you eat impacts even more than what you eat. We had that in the first session. Okay. So if you have not attended the first session, ask the person who has invited you for the recording of that first session for this batch. Else we'll anyways repeat it after the rest of the sessions are done. What happens when you do not align your food timings as per your meal timings? And in the sense you are eating post dark, or you're eating at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m. because you're awake for some work. Okay. Your food intake pattern misaligns with your body clock rhythms, dysregulation of metabolic processes. See, your metabolism actually is supposed to be at rest. It is at the least when in the dark hours, in the night. And you're forcing down food. Insulin is not secreted in the night. Your food is not going to get processed, and hence you get obese. Okay. So the ideal thing would be, can you restrict the food timings between 7 to 7, which is in India, at least we are privileged to have almost 12 hours of daylight, right? So can you restrict that between 7 to 7? Great if you can even do it for, restricted 10 hours, 11 hours. Okay. How do you avoid late night snacking? Plan your meals in advance. We have a fast-paced life, but can you take out a couple of hours, few hours over the weekend to plan your meals, to have your home or your fridge loaded with high fiber and high protein food items? Okay. Establish a routine. Try as much as possible. It's not always an ideal situation, but try and as much as possible कि अगर आप सो रहे हो, can you sleep by 10:30, 11? 11 at least. At least go to the bed. Don't switch on your mobile. You need to switch off see here, limit your screen time. You need to switch off your devices, ideally at least 2 hours earlier. But even if you can you do it 1 hour earlier? And devices, when I say even your laptops. Okay. So mindful eating at the right time and eating right portions. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. It could be anything. You do your yoga, in fact, you do pranayams or the lighter ones before sleeping. You read a book, whatever suits you. Listen to music. I listen to my leadership podcast in the night. It really helps me sleep well, and I'm absorbing some positive thoughts as well. Keep some healthy snacks on hand. I would advise against this. Farooq has explained to us why this is not advisable. Worst case, late night, though, definitely not, but nothing. And if you're working through the night, probably, I think, then it's a different scenario. Okay, now caffeine. I mean, caffeine is not just in coffee. Please understand that. Okay, and especially why do we say gut reset, avoid both tea and coffee? Because this actually impacts our gut health. I know my grandmother, she was a doctor, okay, a lady doctor in those days. She didn't have in her whole life, she didn't have a single cup of chai or coffee. Never, ever. Okay, being a medical student, imagine being a doctor, the hours that she would have spent working, etc. She never had a single cup. She used to just start her day with nimbu pani, without sugar, without salt. That was her routine. She literally didn't have, false teeth also. All her teeth were all there. So she was healthy. That's the lifestyle they actually followed, right? So consequences of caffeine is heartburn, acidity, acid reflux, disturbed body clock. You will see that, sometimes you're tempted to have tea. Just remind yourself of these um, long-term consequences, right? Which will hopefully put away your cravings for tea or coffee. Anxiety and headache. What I understand is migraines. People have now, more and more people have migraines, right? Coffee is absolutely bad for migraines. People think that their headache will go away if they have a coffee, but actually it is not. I still have not achieved that nirvana stage, but yes, whenever I have some coffee, then I remind myself, okay, limit it, have more water. Now, when you have coffee, so there was a study done. What they did, I'll just simplify this, is uh, having coffee, say, 6 hours before the sleep time. Okay, this was a placebo was given. This was 0 hours before sleep time, 3 hours before, 6 hours, right? It didn't make too much of a difference. Even if you have coffee at 6 o'clock, you're not going to get a good sleep. You need to have at least 6 to 8 hours before. If you're going to have a coffee, try and ensure you're not having a coffee after, or a chai, anything with caffeine, after say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, because your sleep will be disturbed. Look at this, right? You will either have a delayed onset of sleep, or you will have a disturbed sleep. Okay. Now switch to decaf. I was just looking, in fact, just to get some help on what can someone have. Herbal teas are good. Your detox drinks, they make you feel good as well. Just tulsi and chamomile probably, but please look at the ingredients. Timing adjustments, as I said, if you really have to have it, don't have it in the post afternoon, right? Drink more water, because any amount or any caffeine or tea, coffee, it actually dehydrates your body. You may think कि उसके साथ आप पानी पी रहे हो. नहीं. You will need to drink the same amount of water. Okay. Exposure to screen time. We talked about it a little earlier, but what really happens? It triggers light आया है. Okay. It says light आया है, morning है, stay awake. So your brain doesn't switch off. Your brain is not getting the rest that it should get, right? Your the It's not here, but some of the chemicals, dopamine, etc., they don't start getting replenished if you don't sleep on time. The more delayed, you will see you're more, inactive, you're more, a little more depressed, not very happy the next morning. Okay. If you align it, your day-night cycles along with the body clock, what will improve is your alertness, your memory, attention span, your cognitive functions will be much more, alert. If you do not align, it suppresses the melatonin. You're just alert the whole time. Okay. Blue light and its impact. People whose melatonin levels are suppressed and whose body clocks are thrown off by excessive light or exposure are prone to depression. Okay, so long-term effects. You may not see it immediately the next day, but what if you do that on a continuous basis? This is what you're going to see. You're going to see obesity. You will not be able to control your hunger. Okay, one thing while I'm talking about this is, जब आपको भूख लगती है, when your brain or your body is telling you कि भूख लगी है, stomach is telling, your your brain doesn't know how to differentiate between a hunger or a thirst signal. Have water. Okay. Even in the night, if you're going to be staying awake a little late because of work, have water. Okay, over the long term, not getting enough good sleep can lead to neurotoxin buildup that can make it even harder to get a good sleep. Okay, what else? This is a poor night's sleep caused by nighttime smartphone use can make it harder to absorb and remember information. Memory, I can see it. Okay, my memory is not great as what probably our ancestors used to have. They never had digital phone books, right? But they remembered everyone's birthday. They remembered everyone's phone numbers as well. Simple. Tips to reduce exposure to blue light: limit your screen time, enable night mode. Enable night mode is also kind of tricking your, I think, emotional state. It is still not effective. It's not 100% proof, this thing of light, nighttime. Switch to warm lighting, take regular breaks, read a book. Okay. Uh, take regular breaks because it will give some rest to your eyes from blue light. Read a book. Trust me, even if you don't like reading books, in fact, that's all the more reason to read a book because you will fall asleep. Okay? Stress. Now, all of us today, in fact, I think I don't know how many times a day we say we are stressed. The impact of chronic stress on our body, it impacts your main clock. In turn, the main clock actually impacts your physiological and behavioral rhythms. So your hunger, issues, your sleep, all of that gets impacted because the stress then, it actually releases your stress hormone, which is cortisol. All of this impact even your organs. You will start getting gut health issues because of stress. They are related, they're directly related. Okay, other systems, they all try to mask your issues, but eventually you will get your whole system gets impacted. You will have mental issues. Stress also leads to what do you say, lower immunity. And because you have lower immunity, you will see allergic reactions as well. You will see your skin issues coming up because of stress. Exercise regularly, practice deep breathing. The best way for stress is just breathe in deep and exhale forcefully. Do pranayam, do your simple anulom vilom, anything, or just listen to light music, take breaks, engage in hobbies, whatever can make you feel better. Go for a walk. Farooq always tells us, even if you're not feeling well, the best way to recover is go for a walk. It is very difficult, I know, but the best way is also to go for a walk. Okay. Exercise regularly. How to regulate your circadian rhythm? Exercise regularly. Stick to your regular. All of this we just talked about. Now let's move to the very, very different and unique and very important subject, which is NEET. Okay. Some of you would have heard it earlier. What has happened through the years? Activity has reduced, right? We all know that. But look at the statistics. Pehle, human beings used to hunt or gather food or do some activities 10 to 12 hours a day. Through the years, of course, we had spheres, then industrialization happened. Industrialization भी it was okay, 8 to 10 hours of activity. लेकिन आज digital age में what has happened? Can you imagine on an average 25 minutes activity per day? Activity, of course, we go to the washroom and come back. That's it. Remote hai haath mein. Everything is automated. We look for solutions that will make our life simpler. Nothing wrong with that. But yes, a huge amount of wrong has happened because of that. Because there is no movement. Because there is no movement, what has happened? Globally, an estimated 60 crore adults and 10 crore children were obese in 2015. Today, we are almost the obesity capital of the world. We, India. 1 out of every 4 people are obese. It is scary. Obesity, it has become a norm. It used to be something which is found in the Western culture. Unfortunately, in India, obesity impacts even more because we tend to put on weight in the middle area. अपने पेट बाहर आता है ना? Our stomachs come out. That is even worse. We are not fat all around. I'm not saying that fat all around is good, I'm just saying that it gets worse for us, and hence you will see many more cardiac issues, especially during the winters. You'll see many more heart attacks because we are not able to, our body is so stressed out because of the obesity that, the fats that we have. Visceral fat, if it goes, visceral fat, because we are at this, slide, let me just pick this out since everyone is looking at their weight, people are going through gut reset and all. Look at your visceral fat, your subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous fat is what you see on the top. Okay, जो मोटापा दिखता है. Visceral fat is the fat which is surrounding your vital organs. We need it because we don't want the organs to be clashing. They don't have bones, right? They don't have a skeleton to protect themselves. But unfortunately, when that gets a lot beyond 9%, that means it is actually pressing your organs and their efficiency of working reduces. So all of this is extremely important. Yeah. What is NEAT? It is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Okay. You all are looking at 10,000 steps, 15,000 steps, right? What is that? Movement. It is just to monitor your movement. Hence, when Farooq said, sometimes it's not easy to exercise on a daily basis. It is, but if you don't exercise at all, also that's not good. You need to exercise. But if you're not able to exercise, can you just manage NEAT? It focuses on increasing low-level daily physical activities. Small activities like, say you're on a call, okay, because most of us are on calls, or right now while watching this, since no one has their cameras on, can you actually move around the house and listen to this? Can you, or otherwise just stand up, doing your daily chores? We have delegated all our daily chores, right? We have delegated to the maids, to the drivers, to everyone, to the helpers. But can you probably take back a few things and do it yourself? Take the stairs instead of lift. If you're on the 5th floor, then probably can you just at least climb 2 stairs and then take the lift if you're not able to do 5 stairs? Gardening, standing instead of sitting. Okay. Now, what is the ratio? Actually, kya hota hai? How does it help you? We all know about calories now, right? Energy taken that you take in through food, right? That is your calories in food, beverages, whatever you have, whatever you put in your mouth has certain amount of calories. So through the day you consume, say, 2,000 calories. Okay? To keep it simple, or let's keep it simple, 1,000 calories. Okay? 1,000 calories you have taken. Now suppose your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which you get through your weight, and there's a calculation you will see on the scales as well. Suppose that your this thing is 700 calories. That means just by your body का जो function हो रहा है अंदर, just by that 700 calories will get expended from the 1,000. ठीक है? Now, EAT, which is your exercise activity thermogenesis, is 5%. So, आप जो exercise करते हो, उसे that constitutes 5% of expended energy. Okay? NEAT actually constitutes 15%. In fact, it has a larger portion of energy expenditure. And TEF, which is thermic effect of food, is 10%. So all of this is important. Hence we say, why do we say carbs up, limit karo? Why do we say instead of carbs, you have complex, simple carbs, you have complex carbs. You have more fiber, you have more protein. Okay, why? Because to digest that, to digest protein, our body releases more TF. TF of protein is higher. TF of complex carbs is higher. So it releases more calories. Hence, we say increase your protein intake. Take the all plant protein. You cannot take, huge amount of protein from food. Take the all plant protein because as the simplest way to have enough and optimum and right protein. Okay. So I hope you've understood the importance of NEAT. The more you increase your steps, if you're not able to do, your exercises every day, do a brisk walk of 40 minutes. And the rest of the time when you're doing things, try and move around and try and stand. So what Approximately, just to give a comparison, agricultural work obviously has a maximum more than 20 around 2500 calories standing. A homemaker who's actually doing all the activities, not the homemakers who have delegated all the activities. Or shop mein, dukaan mein jo khade rehte hai, ya even in the airports, etc., they also expend a lot of calories because of neat seated work, where a little bit of movement is there. Doctor probably seated work like IT professionals, no movement, no calories. Chair bound work, absolutely no calories. No wonder we are all becoming an obese nation, right? So some tips: increase your daily steps gradually to up to 10,000. Anything above that is very great. Self-charting, can you start monitoring how many stairs can you walk? It is going to tell you, actually, how fit your body is. Get a standing desk. There are available. Else just, see if you can create a space where you can stand and work or move around when you're on calls, especially. Find substitutes for sedentary activities. I don't know. I'm not able to think of an example. Probably watching television, limit your screen time. Automatically, you should be able to substitute that. Bring changes gradually to increase the standing hours, right? Wash your car by hand. You will expend enough energy if you can do that instead of giving, to the driver to wash it or something. Carry groceries instead of pushing a cart. Walk. Now, a few things probably. I used to park my car in when I used to go to work. I was working in Infosys. We had these multi-level parking and lifts at each floor. I used to park just next to the lift so that I didn't have to walk. Of course, Infosys has big campuses where you have to walk. But can we actually park away from a lift or away from at least, say, 1 kilometer away from the office entrance? घर में शायद नहीं हो पाता है, but wherever you're going, I know one of our colleagues here who has done that, who does that wherever he goes. Our friends here on this group, whenever he goes to any place to meet someone, he'll actually park almost 500 meters or a kilometer away and walk the rest of the way so that the steps increase. So sitting is as good, as harmful, not good, as bad or harmful as smoking. I hope I have been able to explain why and how our different lifestyle choices impact the body clock. Why? Because of that, we get into mood swings, we get into lethargy, we get into obesity. We may think कि I'm just obese. Okay, और कुछ नहीं है. I'm like fit, I have energy. Trust me, your organs are crying inside, even if you're not, because you will see that blast later. Take that call, do the right thing. It is difficult, nothing is easy. But when we tortured our body, that is also hard. And being in a hospital will be harder. So start every day with, we love to shine on this program and we want every one of us to shine and help others also shine. Start your day with gratitude and optimism. Tomorrow is a new day. If you haven't yet started your health journey, you're here to understand and learn. Take this decision, to set a clear health goal. What do you really want? Why are you here? Understanding. Have your nutrition. We don't get the nutrition from the food that we get from the market because of the soil pollution, because of the water pollution, because of the air pollution. One of the people whom I was talking to, she said, Veda, I cannot walk outside in Noida because it is full of smog. She's not able to even see outside her flat. I understand that, but can you do it inside the house? Take care of your nutrition, learn something new. We will have a new topic coming to you on Friday. Be ready with questions. We are open to take questions. Exercise daily, yes, we talked about it. We are open to take questions. Please feel free to ask questions, because trust me, people want to ask. They feel a little, what do you say, shy probably, or hesitate to ask. But this forum is there to, we have a huge mentor who is there with us. Leverage the availability of Farooq. That's it from my side, for today. As I said, we'll have a new topic on Friday. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Farooq is there to answer. That's it from my side. Back to you, Ruchita.
Thank you, Veda. And wow, guys, can we not see the amount of effort the speakers take? And I always feel like if Veda is talking right now, she's talking as if she's talking to her best friend, trying to get her on track or him on track. I personally feel that, and it's so relatable. Thank you so much for explaining it so wonderfully. And since I see no further questions, we'll close for tonight. Thank you, everyone. You've been a great audience. Good night. Stay safe. See you in the next session.